The real enemy is not on the screen, it's inside your mind. We're told that success, especially in the high-stakes world of trading, comes from an almost superhuman, iron will. The narrative is seductive. The lone wolf trader, fueled by caffeine and sheer grit, staring down the market and bending it to their will through pure mental force. We see it in movies. We read it in books. The idea that if you just want it badly enough and are tough enough, you will succeed. But this is one of the most pervasive and dangerous myths in performance. The truth is, relying on willpower alone is a strategy for failure. Think of your willpower not as an infinite well of strength, but as a battery. Every single decision you make throughout the day drains a small amount of its charge. This concept is often discussed in psychology as ego depletion. While the specifics are debated by scientists, the practical reality is undeniable for anyone in a high-pressure environment. From the moment you wake up, you're making choices: what to eat, what to wear, which news to read. By the time you sit down to trade, your battery is already partially drained. Then, the market opens. Should you enter this trade? Is this a valid signal or just noise? Should you honor your stop loss, or give it a little more room? Should you take profit now, or let it run? Each question is another drain on your willpower battery. Resisting the urge to chase a runaway stock, fighting the fear of missing out, stopping yourself from revenge trading after a loss. These actions consume immense mental energy. By midday, your willpower is depleted, and that's when the catastrophic mistakes happen. When your battery is empty, you don't have the mental strength to stick to your plan. You become impulsive, emotional, and reckless. You break your rules, not because you're a bad trader, but because you've run out of the very resource you were relying on to enforce them. This isn't a moral failing, it's a biological one. Relying on willpower is a recipe for burnout and inconsistency. So if willpower is the problem, what's the solution? The real edge, the secret of consistently profitable traders, isn't a stronger will. It's stronger systems. A system is a predefined framework of rules and processes that makes discipline easy and indiscipline hard. It's about designing an environment where the right choice is the path of least resistance. It's about automating your discipline so it doesn't depend on how you feel in the heat of the moment. What does this look like in practice? It's about removing friction. Instead of relying on willpower to exit a losing trade, you use a hard stop-loss order that executes automatically, no emotional debate required. You pre-commit to your exit points before you even enter the trade when your mind is clear and rational. It's about using technology to enforce your rules. Set alarms on your phone not just for price levels, but to force you to take scheduled breaks, to review your trading checklist before every entry, or to shut down for the day. Some platforms or third-party tools even allow you to set a broker lockout. If you hit your maximum daily loss, the system literally locks you out of your trading account for the rest of the day. It makes it impossible to revenge trade. These aren't signs of weakness, they are signs of professional intelligence. You are building an architecture of discipline around yourself. You are acknowledging your human limitations and engineering a workflow that protects you from your own worst impulses. The goal is to make good decisions automatic and bad decisions difficult. This means focusing on your process, not just the profit and loss. It means creating a fast feedback loop for yourself. Record your trades, review your decisions, adjust your system, and repeat. Stop trying to be a hero who can withstand any psychological pressure. Instead, become an architect who designs a trading business that can run effectively, even when your personal willpower battery is flashing red. That is the shift from amateur gambler to professional trader. It's not about having more willpower, it's about needing less of it. For countless traders, the path to consistent profitability feels like a cruel, repeating loop. It's a cycle of failure and frustration that grinds down even the most determined individuals. It begins with the best of intentions, a clear plan, and a renewed sense of hope, but it almost always ends in the same familiar place: disappointment. Let's make this concrete by looking at a case vignette. We'll call him Trader A. Trader A has just closed out a disastrous week. He's blown through his profit target and then some, all because of a few impulsive decisions. Over the weekend, fueled by a mix of regret and resolve, he dedicates himself to creating a new, foolproof trading plan. He analyzes every losing trade, identifying his emotional triggers and bad habits. He writes down a clear, concise set of rules. Never risk more than 1% of his account on a single trade. Always wait for a specific candlestick pattern for confirmation. Never, ever move a stop loss once it's set. He feels a surge of confidence. This time, he thinks, will be different. This is the plan that will finally bring him the discipline he craves. Monday morning arrives, and Trader A is a model of discipline. He follows his rules to the letter, taking small, calculated positions and accepting minor losses gracefully. But then, the market throws him a curveball. A news event triggers a massive, unexpected price swing in a stock he's been watching. His carefully laid out setup is invalidated, but the sheer velocity of the move creates an intense fear of missing out. His heart rate quickens. The rational part of his brain, the part that wrote the rules, is screaming at him to stay out, but another more primal voice whispers, "This is the one. This is the trade that will make back last week's losses and then some." Under the immense pressure of the moment, his willpower cracks. He abandons his plan. He tells himself, just this once, and enters the trade, not with his prescribed 1% risk, but with 3%. He needs the extra size to make the trade worth it. The market immediately moves against him. The initial flicker of hope is replaced by a cold wave of panic. The loss hits his preset stop-loss level, but instead of accepting the loss as his rules dictate, he breaks another rule. He moves the stop-loss down, giving the trade more room to breathe, praying for a reversal that isn't coming. He is no longer trading his plan, he is gambling on hope. The trade eventually stops out for a catastrophic loss, wiping out all the disciplined gains he made and digging him into an even deeper hole. The screen glows with the evidence of his failure. A profound sense of shame washes over him. It's not just about the money lost, it's the acute personal pain of knowing exactly what he should have done and failing to do it. He betrayed himself. This shame quickly curdles into deep frustration and self-loathing. Why can't I just stick to my plan? He asks himself, the same question he asked last week. And so, the cycle is primed to repeat. He will spend the next weekend creating a new, better set of rules, convinced that more willpower is the answer, but it isn't. This cycle isn't a personal failing, it's a system failure. The key isn't to try harder, but to build a system that protects you from yourself. It's time to stop relying on fragile willpower and start engineering a robust process that makes discipline the path of least resistance. Your brain's efficient shortcuts are useful in life, but in trading they become dangerous biases that lead to failure. Willpower is finite. Excellence is built brick by brick through small, disciplined habits that protect you from yourself. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Struggling traders focus on P&L. Professionals focus on a process they can control. Emotion isn't the enemy, it's data, a signal from your subconscious. Interpret it, don't eliminate it. Trading feedback is slow and noisy. Engineer a fast loop. Action, recording, review, adjustment. This is the engine of improvement. Let's talk about the single most powerful lever that controls your trading psychology: risk. The link between the size of your position and the level of your stress is not just a theory, it's a biological certainty. Your brain's ancient survival circuits, specifically the amygdala, can't distinguish between the threat of a predator and the threat of a significant financial loss. To your nervous system, a trade that's too big feels like a life-or-death situation. This is why stress scales directly with how much you stand to lose. When the dollar amount at risk exceeds your mind's emotional tolerance, your higher-level thinking, your rational, strategic brain, goes offline, completely hijacked by fear. And this is the precise moment where discipline fails and accounts are destroyed. It's when a trader, flooded with cortisol and adrenaline, abandons their plan. They look at their stop-loss not as a pre-agreed point of invalidation but as an unbearable concrete loss they can prevent, so they move it, once, then again. They turn a small manageable paper cut into a gaping, account-threatening wound. This isn't a failure of willpower, it's a predictable system failure triggered by improper sizing. The fatal decision wasn't made in the heat of the moment. It was made when the trade was first placed with a size that was destined to cause panic. The solution is to systematize your risk before you ever enter a trade. This is where a professional risk model, or a simple sizing table, becomes your greatest defense. The rule is simple: define your risk not by a gut feeling, but by a rigid mathematical percentage of your account equity. For most developing traders, this means risking no more than 0.25% to 0.5% on any single idea. Let's make that concrete. On a $10,000 account, a 0.5% risk is just $50. $50. Can you emotionally withstand a $50 loss without panicking? Without the urge to revenge trade? Almost certainly, yes. It's just the cost of doing business. This isn't about limiting your upside, it's about guaranteeing your survival and your sanity. By keeping your risk per trade statistically insignificant, you neutralize the emotional hijack. You shift your focus from the money to the process. A loss is no longer a personal failure. It's simply a data point that your trade hypothesis was incorrect. You can take the hit, log the trade, and move to the next opportunity with a clear head. This is the only way to achieve the consistency required to stay in the game long enough to win. So before you even think about strategy, master your sizing. Start small, stay small, and earn the right to scale. Mastering trading isn't about willpower, but engineering a system. Build your fortress of habits. Start with a simple checklist. Before you go, like and subscribe, drop a comment, New videos weekly.